Anyone, please, make it stop! Make it stop!
Do we recognize the voice?
Intelligence check. Just Rael.
Not stellar. 9.
It's a male voice. It's about all you can tell.
Speaking common?
Speaking common. Please, anyone, you must help me.
If there are innocents in need, then Kamal compels me to investigate. And she marches forward.
There she goes. Does the rest of the party follow?
I mean, I do.
Stealth?
I'm not stealthing. Lady Celeste is barging in there all clangs and rattles and noisy armor.
Lovely. Zydromedes will mutter an oath and follow.
Me too.
I'll take rear guard.
Fletch still have the torch?
Cool. Beyond the door is a narrow corridor, twisting this way and that. A few feet over the threshold, you think you've stepped into a natural cavern. The walls are wet and mildewed and uneven, the result of hundreds of years of erosion rather than any mortal craftsmanship. The further you venture, however, the more you'll start to notice slabs of worked stone here and there. At first they're just blank, but the further into the claustrophobic tunnel you venture, you start to see markings. Indecipherable at first.
I'm sorry, not to comprehend languages, so...
Exactly. To the enchanted eyes of Zydromedes, these obscure glyphs start to make a queer sort of sense. Worn by time and water, only snatches are still readable. Man is a maggot, writhing, ignorant of all, whose coils entwine the dark places beneath the world. And the serpent gave unto man knowledge, that light might never prevail over darkness. Up ahead, the path forks, and there's a glyph carved at the point of intersection. For the serpent's jaw is wide, and all the earth an egg to be. What do you do?
What about the voice? Can we still hear him?
Perception checks.
Yeah, 6.
19,
Whoopee.
10.
That's 10 too.
The voice appears to have stopped. Rael, on the edge of your hearing, there's the sound of someone muttering incoherently to themselves.
From which direction?
The southeast passage.
Then I guess that way.
The whole group proceeds.
Like, I expected the catacombs to be wet and creepy, but like, holy shit.
Any more inscriptions?
A lot more inscriptions. The further your progress down the corridor, the more elaborate grow the carvings, the more obvious signs of intelligent hands behind the corridor's construction. Whole verses of what read like scripture are etched in serpentine lines upon the dank and slippery stone.
Such as?
And the serpent shall have all wisdom in matters of the earth, and all the things that crawl upon its ground are like as to prey, like unto the helpless mouse, unto the all-knowing serpent, whose craft is never dying.
Jesus Christ.
And this continues, right, every dozen feet or so. Whosoever among you shall profane the sun, and the ways of the day will gain great understanding. And its fangs were like unto sabers, its scales unto armor, its tongue forked, that it might sense the two natures of the earth. All this kind of shit.
Anybody got religion? Like, I'm assuming this is just that snake cult from earlier, but I kind of want to stick around and see if
Lady
there's
Celeste
anything else
just
that
keeps
we
marching towards the sound of the voice. This is no time for dusty tomes and ancient lore, Greybeard.
This is precisely the time for dusty tomes and ancient lore, impudent whelp! Zydromedes, under much protest, will come hobbling after.
Up ahead, smaller side passages start to shoot downward from the main corridor. Perhaps a dozen or so, all slanted with a little bit of water trickling over the slick stones.
Can I still hear the mumblings?
Perception checks.
This time's
Oh,
9.
Actually, maybe I heard a thing.
16?
By now, the voice has fallen utterly silent.
Of course it has.
Hello, citizen? The Steel Sistren have come to aid you.
Well, we weren't exactly being stealthy anyway, so...
Oh, paladins.
Is that what you say? Exactly that?
I guess.
There's a slight pause, and then... No! Please, no! I'm sorry, please, not again!
What?
What do you do?
Can a 14 perception pinpoint exactly which tunnel the voice came from?
The third culvert from the left.
Then that's the way Lady Celeste will go. Flail drawn, shield in front.
The rest of the group falls in behind?
I think my rapier's already drawn.
Yeah, I'll knock an arrow.
You have to stoop some to pass through the culvert, and the way is slippery with the water rushing past your feet. The chamber you enter is tiny, cramped, about twice as mossy and mildewed as the main corridor, and cut in half by an iron cage. Inside the cage, the light of your torch reveals a quivering figure slumped in the chamber's farthest corner. As you descend, you hear that mumbling again. She is right, she is just, she is only doing what she must. She is right,
She?
she is just.
The snake god,
She is only
maybe?
doing what she must.
Maybe.
She is right, she is. What do you do?
The burning brand of Kamal compels you. Show yourself.
Forgive me! Forgive me! You see the prisoner come scuttling around and prostrates himself before the edge of the cage and your feet. You are right. You are just. You are only doing what you must.
What does he look like?
Seemingly male, like I said, dressed in a tattered clothing, sort of like a prisoner's soiled one piece, barefoot. Rael, you notice that one half of his face appears to be severely disfigured in some way that's hard to tell with his head on the ground. And that the one ear you can see is pointed.
An elf.
Prisoner of war. I wondered. Are these the same dungeons you were kept in?
Are they?
Roll me an intelligence check.
Look, it's got 2 digits. I think that's a 19 then?
This place, these cells, these corridors, the dripping water, everything is hauntingly familiar. Memories, still hazy, start to appear in flashes. You recall these bars, you recall the smell, the damp. You even recall that phrase, the one that the prisoner is repeating. The three of you notice that as Fletch is recalling all this, his mouth starts to move very slightly, uttering something noiselessly.
What am I muttering? She is right. She is just. She is only doing what she must.
The fuck?
You, prisoner, what is your name?
She is right. She is just.
She is
only
only doing
No,
what
no,
she
Your
must.
name! Charisma intimidate. Boom. 19 plus 5 is 24. Suck it.
Thavendel, thou hast never asked my name before, my lady. I did
You
not.
do not know me, elf. I am
He does
from-
not mean you, paladin.
No.
Who is your mistress, Thavendel?
You see, he hesitates, sort of peeks up at Lady Celeste. The Duchess Nightspear.
Whoa. Okay, well, okay. He's a prisoner of war, though. Of course, he's.
Weren't
gonna
you like
be...
2 seconds ago muttering all the same shit?
That's kind of what I'm saying. I think somebody ought to do an insight check on Fletch.
I want to make an insight check on the prisoner, on the...
Thavendel. When she's done with that, can I roll medicine? What I want to know is whether or not Thavendel's been injured. Specifically, whether he's been tortured.
Tortured? You think she.
Okay. Insight on Fletch, insight on Thavendel, medicine on Thavendel. Right? Go.
Looking at it, 12?
A 12 will tell you that there's obviously some manner of magical effect on Fletch. Something from the enchantment school? Most likely a charm.
It's weird that I wouldn't have noticed it before. I mean, do you think this has something to do with your memory loss thing?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know what I think.
Lady Celeste?
My insight's worse, only an 8.
He doesn't want to look you in the eye, is about all you can tell.
Look me in the eye, specifically?
With an 8? You're not sure.
My medicine's a 13.
Through the bars, it's almost impossible to examine him properly. He does look emaciated, and you can see several scars where his skin is exposed, but he's a soldier.
Yeah.
However, when you lift up his chin to examine his face, you get a better look at that deformity.
All right. And?
Half his face has been turned to stone.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't understand.
So you can see one half of his face is normal skin, right? Emaciated and terrified, but normal. The other half, along this kind of jagged line, has been transformed into solid stone. And it's this whole half of his face, right? His eye, part of his mouth, all the hair on this side of his head. And as you watch, you can see it's actually sort of animate. Like the eye will very occasionally blink with a grinding sound. When you lift up his head to examine it, Rael, he'll shirk and cower back to his prostrate position.
Again, I don't get it. Like, I'm sorry, but...
Captain? You're...
Though I don't imagine he has any weapons, right? If he's coming from the dungeon?
Right. So this scruffy half-orc character gets dragged before you all and thrown at your feet. Meet Fletch, once a Corsair captain, then my prisoner, now your guide. None know the treacherous waters of the Severing Strait better than he.
Fletch will do what he can to kind of dust himself off and then do this big, ostentatious bow. My lady, such a pleasure. He extends his stone hand out to her.
The Duchess will daintily place her hand in your cold, lifeless one.
Wait. You can move it?
Oh, yeah, like a little bit.
Fucking weird, man. And you have no idea where it came from?
Nope. Like, Nadine doesn't know either. I specifically asked not to.
Hardcore.
So I guess we'll find out? No. No. That's not true. That's impossible!
Fletch, can I get a wisdom check to search your feelings?
Oh, that's good. That's an 18.
You know it to be true. As you stare at your stone hand, a torrent of memories comes flooding back to you. You remember a cell, almost identical to this one, utterly dark, wet, shut out from the world. You remember a faceless woman coming to visit you. You remember her gentle voice, her cruel words, and always you remember the veil drawn across her face. You remember her questions, so many questions about the coves and your life among the pirates and the cargoes of elven ships you might have plundered. You remember you were strong once, resisting her, fighting her questions, refusing to aid your captors and tormentors. You remember when she took off that veil. You remember the unspeakable agony of your warm, living flesh turning to cold, lifeless stone. The next thing you remember, you were freed from the dungeons and dragged before the Duchess on her throne.
The first session.
So, like, from the beginning. The very beginning of the campaign.
Well, before that even, if it's part of Fletch's backstory.
The whole time.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt a moment, but can someone...
The woman in the veil?
The Duchess. She's the one who,
Looks like.
which means...
Has long held knowledge of these catacombs and the fell history.
More than that, though, right? She's obviously got some sort of, like, magic for petrification.
At her disposal, that much is clear. Arcana check. Is this something I would have sensed about the Duchess? Like, is this innate? Is she casting a spell?
Interesting. Tell me what you get.
Well, good. 3. So a 9 then. So this blindsides Andromedes. He leans against the wall for support. To have a power such as this festering in the heart of the very Duchess herself. How could I have been so blind?
Is this, then, the evil I have come to root out? Lady Celeste will take a minute and kneel. Kamal, Most High, grant me wisdom that I might see the path I should tread. Religion check? See what Kamal's opinion of all this might be.
Sure. I'm gonna say straight wisdom rather than religion, since that's intelligence now.
Oh, right, sure. Wisdom's not bad, actually. 18.
On this matter, the heavens are silent.
Yeah, figures.
Bad reception?
Must be.
How you doing?
I don't know. Let me get back to you on that.
Oh, perception check, Ryo.
A 10. What now?
An armored footstep echoes from somewhere down the corridor behind you. Someone is coming.